Sometimes the pivot is not a new job, a new city, or a new man. Sometimes the pivot is telling an older version of yourself, girl, thank you for your service, but you are not needed anymore. Today's episode of From the Ground to the Crown features a beautiful guest, and we are going to talk about the pivot season in the midst of releasing. Because if you know anything about pivoting, you know that everything can't make it with you to the next level. Let's get into it. Hey friends, hey, welcome back to From the Ground to the Crown. If you're new here, I'm Kenisha B, and it has been a while since you've seen me. I've been in the middle of a grief season, and I'm excited to be back today, but it has taken me a while. And I'm really happy that I did things the way that I did because I finally allowed myself to be human. And if you know anything about experiencing grief, it does not have a schedule or a time or any of those things. It will inconvenience you because life be life. So I'm excited today to be joined by a special guest, Dr. Lanecha. Hey, girl.
Hey girl, my good sis. I am so excited to be talking with you today.
Let's really get into it because, fun fact, y'all, this is the second time we have recorded this conversation. Okay. The first recording, I don't know what happened, but into the ether it went and it got stuck up there. And I didn't get to launch that version. But I think that's timely. I think that was the universe's way of saying, not that one, not right now. We've actually got some more life for you. So hold tight.
Yeah,
And now we're back and we're better. So that feels good.
yeah, back
Okay.
and better.
Come
Love it.
on. Come on. And
Love
we've
it.
got recent experience to draw on for this conversation, which also feels timely. I feel like all of this is
hmm
divine timing.
hmm It's timely. I always believe that things happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been living life, going through some things. Life been doing what it does best, life, and so that's what I'll pull from today. Listen, life is our best teacher, and I've been
Here we
getting
are.
taught some things.
Here we are. Yeah, man. I know my brother passed away very suddenly in March. And that was one of those things where, depending on how you were raised or taught, or depending on how you've learned death for yourself, it can really take you out to have someone really close to you just leave. And you're like, there's so many questions. What do you mean? What is all of this for? Like, why am I even dealing with all, if it's all just going
hmm
to end in a blink of an eye, what is even the point? And I think for me anyway, grief puts things into a perspective that allows me to simultaneously feel the weight of losing a loved one, and at the same time it's a portal for so much love and so much joy and so much remembrance and so much light, and the conversations that remind you of like why we're doing this, right? Why life is so important, why we have to pivot, why we have to keep growing and keep healing and keep going, and not like consistently that way, but why it's so important for us to just grow into the best versions of ourselves because we're not here forever.
Nope.
Let's get into today's conversation. Here is a little intro. Today's guest is Dr. Lanecha, and let me tell you something, friends. This is not one of those guests that gives you cute little surface answers and leaves, okay? She came with language, lived experience, discernment, and a fly hairstyle, okay? That everybody deserves to see. She's a mom, a wife, a coach, a therapist, and a woman who knows what it means to release the version of herself that is surviving, shrinking, and trying to be palatable. So today we're talking about pivoting, people pleasing, grief, identity, and what it really takes to become the woman you keep saying you're ready to be.
Mhm.
It's time. It's time. right? So let me ask you this, sis, before we get really, really deep. What version of you showed up today? Is it the soft version, the spicy version, the doctor version, or the don't play with me version?
I think a combination of all of those versions showed up today. Okay.
Okay.
I've been spicy lately, as
Mm-hmm.
per a few of my clients. The doctor in me never goes away by way of what I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
But the don't play with me, she always around and she always with it. So
God,
the
in the back seat,
yeah,
maybe in the back seat, but she's
yeah.
there. She's in the car.
Yeah, she's there. She's not driving because she could get us in trouble. She could
Okay,
get
come
us in a lot of trouble.
on. We got
However, she's in there, and the soft version of me has been waiting to come out, to be alive, to be featured, to be shown, and so I
Mm,
brought her today as well.
come on. We love that. And I'm glad that they're all walking in the room for this conversation because everybody, all the aspects of us deserve time to tell
Hmm.
the story, right?
Yeah.
I feel like when we stifle ourselves because of what we go through, we don't get the fullest experience of who we are. And so I'm happy that you said a mix of y'all showed up today because I
Yeah.
feel that. So let's talk about the pivot not being cute, but being necessary, right? We know that the pivot is required. We know that release comes with that. And I'm sure you can speak to this, but like it's not light. It's not easy, right?
Yeah.
So before you got to a space like where you are now and in your journey, what did people pleasing cost you? Like what was it that you were having to sacrifice in ways that didn't speak to like this version of yourself?
It cost me, I'll say. The
Mm.
me that is sensitive, the me that pays attention to my emotions and also expresses my emotions, the me that is goofy, the me that laughs, the me that uh, would find the joy and the positive. And I think that never left. It didn't completely cost me that, but there were moments it really just caused me to dim who I am, shrink who I am, because didn't really have any time, energy, or attention to pay to me because I was trying to make sure everyone else was okay, trying to make sure that I was palatable for everyone else, trying to make sure that everything that everyone else needed, I made sure they had. And when it came to me, I was exhausted. I was drained. I
Mm,
was, oh, I can't be me in this space, or they may feel this way. So I have to make sure that I curate my life in a way that is comfortable and pleases everyone else. And so I wouldn't say I lost who I was. I buried who I was. I created this protective identity to
yeah.
keep me in those spaces and in their good graces. Come on, bars.
Come
Uh,
on. Yeah, love it.
and in their good graces. And I need to get back to her. And so that's a lot of what I do today, for other women, because I knew I needed to get back to her, that version of me that is not a protective identity. It was one that I built to survive. And I don't want to survive anymore. I want to thrive and flourish.
I mean, dropping bars, like you said earlier, right? Like not even just I was about to say rhythmic, but not even just the lyrical bars, but literal
Yeah.
knowledge. You know, everyone
Mhm.
talks about this, right? Well, I don't think people talk about this aspect of glowing up, but everybody talks about the glow up. Everybody talks about, you know, after the healing, what it looks like, what it feels like. But
Mhm.
nobody talks
Mhm.
about the grief of like not fitting into the spaces that you created with the older versions of yourself.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
once you step into this new light and new version and you take
Mhm.
off the layers, you peel it back, you lose. And like, I feel like we need a better word because loss doesn't really
Yeah.
fit. I don't think it's necessarily a loss when
Yeah.
people, places, things disappear from your life once you're
Mhm.
elevated. I don't know if that's a
Yeah.
loss. What would
Yeah.
you call
I would call that I always say like alignment, right?
it? Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay to or realignment, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
everybody is not going to align with you at every step of your journey, right? And
Absolutely.
it's not a loss, or maybe it is a loss. I don't know. But for me, things start to fall into place. And if people, places, things, spaces, opportunities are removed out of alignment during that, I think that that's okay. That is
Yeah.
okay.
I
Yeah.
100% agree. It comes with the territory, right? Like it's kind of like,
Mhm.
you move into a new house, you don't have the same neighbors, you don't have the same mailman, you don't
Mhm.
got the same, the companies
Mhm.
that do your utilities might change. Like it's just a
Yeah.
change. Everything changes unless you in
Yeah.
the same building, and even if you are in the same building, you're on a different floor or something, you still have different neighbors. Like it's just not the same. So how do
There
you
you go.
expect to move into different houses, so to speak, of life and keep the
Yeah.
same from like that's not how that works.
Yeah.
That's not how that works at
Yeah.
all. And I've been thinking about this because of course, like I said, the proximity of or the suddenness of losing my brother. I've been thinking about grief and grieving people and just the different forms I feel like grief shows up that we don't acknowledge as grief, right? When you
Yeah.
hear the term grief, you automatically think loss of a loved one. You could grieve as much of a loved one as you can, like the job that you really, really enjoyed, but you had to, step away from because of whatever, or a person that's still alive, or a dream that you had and built your life up to, but doesn't align anymore, or a friendship. We talked about that before we got on the call, right? Grieving friendships. And
Mhm. Mhm.
even even versions of your life that you may have thought were for you, right? Or maybe you built this version of your life for yourself
Yeah.
and you in it, and then you're like, who's like why would I like
Mhm.
who's supposed to be living in this, because this is not, now it's not giving.
Yeah.
I don't feel it
Yeah.
anymore. And so with these like many versions of grief, what did you have to grieve while becoming this version of yourself?
We were just talking about it. I had to grieve the fact that everyone cannot stay the course and will not stay the course with me. Um, we talked about friendships, and before we hopped on, and I recently had to release a friendship. Not because, well, I had to release a friendship. It was
Yes.
no longer in alignment with me.
Right.
As I grow, as I evolve, as I design this version of me and pull away from the version of me that I had built to survive, people pleasing, going along to get along, staying palatable, doing whatever I thought I needed to do to maintain in certain spaces and in relationships with people.
Yeah.
I, as I do that, I realize I'm going to have to let go. I'm going to have to release. And that comes with some grief. You grieve, um I don't want to say a loss, but friendships. You will grieve friendships that are no longer. Because when we talk about identity, friendships play a huge role in
Yep.
our identity. And so you develop an identity of what it looks like to be in friendship with certain people. And when you start to shift your identity for whatever reason, those friendships just don't align anymore, especially if it's a friendship that makes you feel like, or where you feel like, per their behaviors, that you have to shrink yourself. You're not able to um, say how you feel
Yeah.
without them getting defensive or saying that they're not going to tiptoe around me and my emotions, right? I realize and the type of friendships that I want, and that's just not one of them, where I have to, you know, um, where I have to shrink who I am or my voice. I also had to grieve the version of me that I created to stay in those friendships. the version of me that I created to stay in particular job roles, the version of me that I created to stay in relationships, romantic relationships, the version of me that I thought I needed to create to be in spaces or to get particular opportunities. I
Yeah.
had to grieve that version of me as well, because that of me is something that, I did every day, all day. Like I had the reps in of being that version. And it was comfortable. It was. It kept me safe in many instances. But the thing that it robbed from me is my ability to pivot, be stronger mentally, emotionally, and in some instances physically. Okay. It robbed me of my focus when it comes to creating the version of me that I really desire, the one that had a shit ton of dreams. It robbed me of that. And so I've grieved that. And I don't know how long the grief process will be, just like we don't know, when someone physically is no longer with us. Um but I'm okay. I'm okay, and I know I'll be even better. Yeah.
100%. Man, you said something like, it robbed you of your like ability to pivot. It robbed you of this version of yourself. Uh, I think that's so powerful, like being out of alignment also robs you of so many things and you don't
Mhm.
notice it right away. And sometimes it's like small trickles
Yep.
until the floodgates open and you're sitting in the bathroom on the floor and you're like, who in the hell am I? And why I hate whatever dot
Mhm.
dot dot and
Mhm.
just fill in the
Mhm.
blank. I hate, can't
Yep.
stand, don't like, can't deal with anymore. And you're completely undone.
Yeah.
Right? That old version of you. I think that's where maybe the detachment comes from, right? Because in order to pivot, you really have to detach. You can't tiptoe on the marble floors when it comes to your healing. You gotta
Mhm.
you in or you out.
Ooh.
Right? Like the universe is not trying to hear you toting no line.
Yeah.
Well, you only gonna be a new version on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sundays. And I might have had another day, but on those days you're gonna be old you. You can't do that. You gotta choose.
Yeah.
You
You
have to
have to
choose.
choose. You have to
Yes.
choose. And you have to be aware of when you are falling back into that old version of you because it's comfortable. You
Come on.
have to be you have to pay attention and be aware of that when you are going back, choosing that old version of you around certain people,
Yes.
in certain spaces, when
Oof.
certain situations pop up, when you are triggered or activated, as I like to call it. You have to have that awareness and be willing to have that awareness of the people, places, and things that are causing you to choose that old version of yourself. Because straddling the fence, it's not going to work. It's so important to make that choice and really do that work. That's why I feel like a lot of people don't, they're not, they quit when it gets too heavy because
Yeah.
they don't believe that they can do difficult things. But I'm
Mhm.
here to tell you, you can.
Come
You
on.
can. There is this version of you that will blow your mind if you allow
Absolutely.
yourself to do difficult things. And I don't know who that is for, but it is for someone who is watching or listening to this episode right now.
Come on. Is this mic on? Her mic? I know
You
her mic is
know?
on, so I know you heard her. Okay. She's talking to you. Talking to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and that brings me to my next question because I'm really interested to know from you what part of the old you can never come back. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this episode, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more guest episodes where we are talking about the in between season and pivoting.
Oh, the part of the old me that can never come back is the part who plays small and or who has forgotten who the hell she is.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah,
And it goes beyond my accomplishments and my achievements. And yeah, I got some
Mhm.
accolades for that ass.
Period.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But the core of who I am,
Yes.
just me, and
Yeah.
the things that attract great people such as yourself to me, I'll never let that go again. I'll never let it go.
I feel you.
Ever. There was a version of me that I created that would have never allowed me to meet you on social media. Never.
Wow.
I'd have looked at you like, what? No. I
Yeah.
mean, part of it is because where I came from, where
Fact.
I grew up. I'm from the south side of Chicago, Inglewood to be exact. And yeah.
Yeah. We just ain't do it. Just
Yeah.
check yourself. I'm from New York, so I understand. I get it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
that version of me that shrinks, that silences what I have to say, that goes against my gut in relation to people, she can never come back. She can
Yes.
never come back because were those relationships even real? Because I'm creating this protective identity and you don't know who I am. You don't know um my experiences. You don't know, like, oh, I'm people pleasing right now. I'm just,
Yeah.
allowing you to say and think whatever you want to think. And so people didn't really get a chance to know exactly who I am. And so it made me start thinking, like, am I developing relationships with people on the
That are
strength of me being who I am, or me putting on up a facade? And a lot of times the answer was the latter, but no longer, no longer.
mean, it's so easy to put the facade up. It's so easy. And we have now social media and AI and all the things. So people
Hmm.
definitely have such a easeful experience creating versions of themselves that are not their most authentic versions of themselves that they use to protect or to persuade or to deceive, whatever. Like it's so easy for people to create different versions
Hmm.
or aspects of themselves, take on whole lives as this version, and then turn around and not be that person. You like, wait a minute. So who
Yeah.
was I talking to? Are, are we friends? I don't understand what's happening right now because who's that? What's
Yeah.
going on here? And I ain't pointing no fingers or calling no names. I'm just saying this is the experience that we're having. This is the conversation that people are having online. That it is sometimes easy to get, I wouldn't say bamboozled because I don't think people are out here bamboozling, but people are bamboozling themselves when they're not choosing the
Hmm.
authentic version. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's challenging, but here we are doing the work, doing the healing, and talking our way, sharing our way through these experiences.
Yeah.
And on the flip side of that, what part of you got stronger because you had to choose yourself? Like that version is not coming back. You chose this version, this girl, she's here, right? What part of you
Mhm.
got so like solid because you had to do this, because you had to choose yourself?
The part of me that opens up my heart a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more with
Mm-hmm.
people,
Yeah.
and not just in romantic situations, but the part of me that allows me to develop relationships with people, to see people for exactly who they are and believe them, not the version of them I create in my head of who they are, not the chances and the endless amount of grace that I give them. I do believe in giving grace to people, but God has the endless supply of grace, not me. And when you show me who you are, then I have to believe you. My confidence has strengthened, my voice has strengthened, my storytelling, my ability to be a great coach, identity coach, and clinician therapist has strengthened. Like overall, I feel myself as a whole becoming stronger. And as a whole, there are so many moving pieces and many facets to who I am, but the main thing is understanding that I can do difficult things, and my story is my gift, and all of my experiences that make up my story is my gift. And shameless business plug, you
Go ahead.
know
Go ahead.
the thing that has grown stronger for me is that I am allowed, and I will be her, and I'll be her out loud.
Especially as a Black woman in this day and age, with the access that we have, with the knowledge that we're gaining, it's so important to show up in this way, especially when you've gone through it, especially like when this is your lived experience. It's so important for us to just see it. And not that you got to be an influencer, you don't have to be out here
Yeah.
sharing for the gram and for the likes, but even with your friends or with your counterparts, or
Hmm.
sharing
Hmm.
this way, so
Yeah.
that when you do, and I've been learning this in this season, my healing is healing. Like, is that simple, right? When I heal myself, and then share, even if it's with a stranger or with somebody on a podcast episode, it's doing more healing, and that's
Yeah.
what this is all about. So
Yeah.
I applaud you for just taking on this role of not just embodying the journey and embodying your pivots, but also using it as like a catalyst to coach other women to do the same thing. You're not just keeping the gems for yourself. You're really sharing the light and the love and the wealth. And I think that's always to be commended. So shout out to you for being who you are. So awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so I know that we done talked about some stuff. We done got down a little bit. Let's pick it up a notch, right? And I want to do something where it's called like a rapid fire round. But in this season, I'm doing something a little different, and I want to call it first thought, best thought. Okay. So this is the first time that I'm doing this in this way. And first thought, best thought is where I ask questions and you give me the first answer that comes to your spirit. No for the gram answer, no calculated, strategic. And she has not seen or heard any of these questions. So this is going to be first thought for real, for real.
I'm
And let's
coming
see how.
off the dome. Off
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
dome.
Get it. Okay. Ready? I
I'm
think I'm gonna
ready.
do. I think I'm gonna do 8.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. Just bear with me here. All right. What's
First
one?
thought, best thought. Okay.
Yeah. First off, best off. What's one question you're no longer? Sorry. What's one thing you're no longer shrinking for?
Anyone.
Okay.
Period.
What's a phrase you're tired of hearing in the healing space?
Just be more confident.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Yeah. What's one boundary that changed your life?
Oh, a boundary, a boundary. A boundary that changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Honestly, I have to say just implementing boundaries changed my life.
Hmm.
But one that I would say is if you're not willing to hear me out, then we don't have to talk.
Straight like that.
Yeah, I'll remove myself from the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I'm here. I'm here. Right there with you, sis.
Mhm.
Right there with you. Okay. What's one thing you had to stop apologizing for?
Being myself, being
Mm-hmm.
myself, being too sensitive, being too silly,
Hmm.
all of those things. I had to stop apologizing for that. And I won't apologize for it. I am who I am. And it's okay if who I am doesn't align with you,
Right.
but I'm not going to apologize for it.
That's it. What's a pivot you're proud of, even if nobody clapped for it? Yeah.
Helping women reclaim their identity. That was a pivot for me. And
Yeah.
it was a pivot because I am a therapist by education and career. I do that very well. Or at least me and my clients think so. I don't know. But I do that very well. And I'm tired of I enjoy the process of getting to a space of helping women identify that they need to reclaim their identity, but stepping into like, no, here are the steps and these are the things that you're gonna do, actionable steps, and holding them to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we can process all day, but we got to get to it.
Come on.
Yeah.
Knowledge is nothing without application. So,
Mm,
okay.
mm.
All right. Next question. What is one thing you wish more women knew about becoming?
I wish they knew that it is possible to become and not know the how. I think so many people focus on the I don't know how
Yes.
to become her instead of doing something to become her. So I wish more people know that it's okay to become without knowing the exact how.
That's a whole nother podcast episode, sis. Okay. So, yeah. Part two of the
Yeah.
part two, y'all, coming soon. Well, we're going to schedule that because that
Hey,
feels like a
speak it.
good one right there. Okay. I'm gonna do 9. Sorry, but the
That's
questions
fine.
are really
That's
good.
fine.
Okay.
I'm loving them. I'm loving them. Bring them on.
See,
Bring them on.
you're gonna enjoy this. I know you didn't see the questions, but I knew that you were gonna be like, okay, this is actually pretty good. All right. Finish the sentence. The old me would have, but the new me dot dot dot. The old me would have dot dot dot. The new me dot dot dot.
The old me would have continued shrinking, but the new me is her out loud.
This the girls. This the girls. Yeah, the girls are doing this. Yes, yes, yes. Here for it. All right, 2 more. If your current season had a theme song, what would it be?
I'ma go ahead and be great. Why not? Now, singing is not my ministry,
But
but
she did
baby,
that.
Jill Scott
Yeah.
came out with Be Great. That
Mm,
is my theme song. Listen to it on repeat in
come
the
on.
shower as I was preparing to get ready for this conversation. So,
Yeah.
Jill, you got a banger.
And then last but not least, what is your healing red flag? And it doesn't have to be like for you, but like what's a red flag for you when it comes to healing?
This one might get me in trouble, but I don't
Yeah,
care.
let's do it. Let's do it.
My healing red flag is when people associate healing to
Okay.
self-care by
Yeah.
way of doing their nails or going to the spa or a
The
new
aesthetics of it.
skincare routine, which I think that all of those things are great. Those things are
100%.
great, but healing is not a just this beautiful package.
Mm-hmm.
Healing gets messy, healing is exhausting. And so when I hear people say, I've healed or I'm healing because I'm going to get my nails done, my toes done, and I do my skincare every day, that's a red flag for me that mm-mm,
Red flag on the play.
yeah.
Red
Because the
flag on.
lessons I learned, the healing is there's so much power in the healing through community and in that messy middle. That messy middle. It's
Come
not
on.
always the I'm down in the dumps or and look at me now. It's that messy middle. It's that messy middle.
Absolutely agree with you 100%. Healing is not aesthetically pleasing, and the moments you meet the depth of who you are on your ugliest days.
Mm-hmm.
I think the
Mm-hmm.
moment that you are scared, not scared in a way that you're like afraid, but it scares you into pivoting,
Yeah.
you change your whole life in the dark. I feel like when you're
Yeah.
in the light and things are pretty, the aesthetics of
Mm-hmm.
it gives I don't have work to do. I'm
Yep.
pretty. I don't have there. What else is there to do? And then when the makeup, nails, salon clothes, you in your house, and you really got to sit with yourself, or you might just be sweeping the floor and you look at yourself in the mirror real quick. Those are the moments where you're like, oh, okay. Let me go ahead and put on this Donnie McClurkin real quick, and let's go ahead and
You
light a
know,
candle. Yolanda Adams, where you
woo,
at? Get Kirk on,
somebody. Come on.
please. Come on. Hi, somebody speak to me, right?
Yep.
I think that the healing part of our journeys really happens in the dark, in the depths, when we're by ourselves on a random Tuesday, and it does not
Yep.
look like the Instagram version of healing. So, yeah. Beautiful. Thank you,
That
friends,
part.
for indulging with me in that first thought, best thought. You are my first thought, best thought guest. So I really appreciate you for allowing me to try that with you.
Absolutely. I love it. I think you should keep it for what that's worth. I think you should keep it,
Done
especially
and
when you
done.
have your guests come on. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay, so last question before we wrap it up. What do you want people to sit with after this episode?
Hmm. What I want people to sit with, specifically to the women that are listening, shade to the men, but specifically to the women that are listening, I want you to know that the version of you that has been performing or shrinking your way through life and you're tired, I need you to know that that version of you does not have ill intent, is not a problem that you need to fix, but it is a version of you that you have created to keep yourself safe in order to survive whatever situations that you have found yourself in, be that people, places, or opportunities that have come your way, right?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
want you to know that there is a version of you that you dream about at night. There's a version of you that you desire to be. There's a version of you that you can envision, but you just don't know how to get there. I want you to know that she's waiting for you. She's waiting for you. The
Yes.
how will come through action. You must execute. You have to change something. I
Yeah.
tell people all the time, if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to continue to get what you've always gotten. So you have to do something different, and you don't have to do all of the things differently,
Right.
right? Change one thing about who you are, and keep at it. You've got to build those reps. Discipline and consistency will always carry you when motivation is not there.
Yes.
Because she's waiting on you. So go ahead and get to her, become her, design her, and share your story, because your story is your gift. And I want every woman who has been shrinking or performing her way through life to understand that she can be her, and she can be her out loud.
I love this. And I think hopefully you came to this episode with notes, but if you didn't, you might want to rewind this a little bit and listen back to what sis just said, because yes, she is waiting for you. There is a version out there in another timeline, and it's not out of your reach. You can get to
Yeah.
her. You just need a little bit of alignment, some
Mhm.
clarity, and execution, because you can't do nothing if you're not doing nothing. Okay? Do something. My motto: minor moves make major impact. It is not
Woo.
the big things, it is the minor moves, but you got to keep making them. And as long as you can ask, or at least just get to the next best step, the staircase will appear. You
Mhm.
will know that you're going up, but just focus on the next best step and you got this.
Woo.
Sis, share what you've got going on. I want the people to know what if there are any programs, any
Mhm.
projects, any collabs, where they can find you. Please share for the
Yeah.
people so that they can connect with you after this.
Yes. So the best place to find me right now is on Instagram. You can connect with me at Dr. That's Dr. dot Lanecha, Lanecha. That's actually my handle for YouTube, TikTok. You can also find me on LinkedIn, but I spend a lot of time on Instagram. Currently, I have a no cost resource linked in my bio, and it is the Identity Snapshot. And the Identity Snapshot is where you start to identify the part of you that the version of you that you have created. It gives name and language to that. I work with a lot of high achieving or high functioning women, as sometimes they call themselves. So it defines what that is, and it gives you an actionable step to do as you are navigating through this shift, I'll say. And you it's important to start there because you need to know what those protective patterns are and how they have been in the driver's seat of your life. So that's so important. And if someone's listening right now and you feel like you I'm describing your life, there's also a link to book a connection call with me, so that we can have a conversation about where to start with releasing as well as becoming. I also have a coaching experience that is essentially a full ecosystem. So that includes workshops, me being a speaker, as well as my weekly newsletter. It's called the Out Loud Letter, where I send you a weekly love note with permission, a reminder, and also an action that is just enough to help you move forward. Remember, you don't need to do all of the big things all at once, but it's so important to take small steps. So there's a lot in the pipeline that I am excited about, where it's going. I will also, you're hearing it here first, I am bringing my podcast back. So just stay tapped in, connect with me if you want information on that. It's coming soon.
Yes. I'm so glad that we got the exclusive, my girl. So thank you so much for dropping it here. Y'all heard it first. Make sure you tap in and follow at Dr.Lanecha on Insta, Threads, YouTube, all the platforms. You've got everything from the identity snapshot to like one-on-one coaching that you can do with her. So stay tapped in, friends. Okay. And if this episode found you in an in-between season, take this as a reminder that you might not be falling apart. You might not be having a breakdown just because the older version of you no longer fits. Some of you might be releasing, some of you might be shifting, and some of you might just be preparing and becoming the becoming the person that the next version of your life requires. And that is fine. If you are in an in-between season, if you are pivoting and shifting and you need a little pause, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the button at the bottom, and share this with a friend who's outgrowing herself in real time. Because we're not here by ourselves. Okay? This is happening to so many of us, and we deserve to share these stories. Also, don't forget, you can follow me on Instagram, on Threads, at It's Kenisha B, and it's literally at ITS Kenisha B. And I would love to, and the podcast at To the Crown Pod on Instagram and TikTok and here on YouTube. Let us know what you thought about this episode. Also, stay connected, stay tuned, because this is not Dr. Lanecha's only guest episode. She will be back because she's got some more stuff to share, and I'm really excited to have you as a future guest. Sis, thank you so much for your time. It's always a pleasure. I'm so grateful that you've graced us with your presence, with your love, with your first thought, best thought, and just with all the energy. And thank you for being just the embodiment of a woman on her healing journey. Shout out to you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, y'all. Until next time, you already know how we do it on From the Ground to the Crown. We don't just survive the shift, we grow through it together. I'll see you next time. Peace. From the ground to the